Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle the alphabet soup of business valuation. We're getting crystal clear on what your business is really worth and, just as important, the key metrics buyers use to figure that out. All right, let's just dive right in with a question that sounds simple, but it's the foundation for everything else. As a business owner, what do you really make in a year? Go ahead, think of a number. Got it? Okay, whatever number you just thought of, chances are that's what a broker would call a soft number. It's kind of what you feel like you put in your pocket. But here's the thing. When it comes time to sell, buyers are looking at a different, much more defined, and honestly, usually a bigger number. So first up, let's figure out what that real number is. We're going to uncover the actual transferable cash flow that your business is pumping out. Here's the key concept you've got to grasp. The whole point of a valuation is to figure out the total cash a new owner could take home. And to do that, we have to look at the business as if it had zero debt. Why? Because a buyer isn't inheriting your company loans. They're going out and getting their own financing.
And this is just a perfect way to think about it. It's exactly like buying a house. The seller's old mortgage gets wiped out at closing, right? Same thing here. Your business loans get paid off. So, because those debt payments won't be an expense for the new owner, we actually add that money back into the pile of earnings.
And that idea, that whole concept of adding things back, well, that leads us right to the single most common metric used for valuing small businesses, SDE, Seller's Discretionary Earnings, or SDE. You might also hear it called owner benefit or cash flow. Basically, it represents the total financial goodie bag that you, the owner, get from the business in a single year. It's the grand total of all the financial perks. So, how do we actually calculate this SDE number? It's not some kind of magic or dark art. Nope, it's actually a pretty simple and logical formula. Okay, here's how we build it. We start with the net profit from your tax return. You know, the bottom line. But we don't stop there. Then we start adding things back in. We add your salary, the interest on those debts we talked about, non-cash expenses like depreciation, and, this is a big one, any personal or one-time expenses you ran through the company. You gotta think of these add-backs as profit in disguise. Yeah, they look like expenses on your profit and loss statement, but they're really cash that was available to you. The key word here is discretionary. It means a new owner can choose not to have these same expenses. Let's make this real. Here's a classic example. Say you lease a fancy Mercedes through your lawn care business to lower your taxes. Well, a new owner, they're not buying your personal car, right? Of course not. So that monthly car payment is cash flow that won't be an expense for them. So we add it back to the profit. And it's the same exact logic for weird one-time costs. A hurricane blows a park bench through your window and you pay to fix it. That's not a normal, recurring business expense. A buyer looks at that and knows it was a fluke. So, you guessed it, we add that cost back to the bottom line too. Okay, so you've got SDE down cold. Now, let's introduce its bigger, more corporate cousin, EBITDA. This is the term you're going to hear thrown around in larger deals or, when you're watching Shark Tank. And that Shark Tank reference is perfect because this one simple question from Mark Cuban gets right to the heart of the entire difference between SDE and EBIT. So here it is, the one crucial difference. It all comes down to who's going to run the business. SDE is used for businesses where the new owner is probably going to be an active owner-operator, just like you. So we add their future salary back into the pool of cash. But EBIT, that's for a passive investor, like a private equity firm. They're going to have to hire a general manager to run the place. So for them, a manager's salary is a very real, ongoing expense. It is not added back. Now, this might sound like a tiny detail, right? Owner salary in, owner salary out, who cares? Well, you should care because this distinction has a massive impact on your company's valuation. And this is where the confusion really sets in. You hear your friend bragging that they sold their business for a 6 multiple, and you immediately start doing math in your head. But hold on, a multiple is totally meaningless unless you know what it's a multiple of. So let's just look at how this plays out. A business's SDE number will always be higher than its EBITDA number, simply because SDE includes the owner's salary. This means a lower multiple, say a 4 multiple on that big SDE number, can lead to the exact same valuation as a much higher 6 multiple on the smaller EBITDA number. Both roads lead to $4 million. So a higher multiple doesn't always mean a better deal.
Okay, let's wrap this up with the most important takeaways. You've got to know your baseline. Understand that SDE is for one type of buyer and EBITDA is for another. Remember that a bigger multiple doesn't automatically mean more money, and to avoid a huge valuation mistake, you have to be speaking the same language as the buyer. That means always asking, a multiple of what? So now you're armed. You can cut through all the noise and jargon. That question on the screen isn't just a fun fact. It's the key to protecting yourself and understanding the true value of all your hard work. Knowing the difference between SDE and EBITDA, well, that puts you in control of the conversation.